and today we're chatting with Meeple Therapy.
Hi.
That's not your name. Tell me your name. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mo. I'm the owner of Meeple Therapy and the resident artist there. I do occasionally grab the boyfriend and make him help me.
Awesome.
But yeah, I actually started Meeple Therapy about a year ago.
Okay.
It just grew out of my love for painting and then crafting and wanting to highlight board game stuff. So
that's awesome. I'm sad. Yesterday I was wearing my Meeple shirt, and I'm sad that I wasn't wearing it for this interview.
Meeples are always the way to go.
I know, right? I should have more of them. So yeah, tell us about some of the stuff people can pick up if they swing by your booth.
So our biggest seller is obviously our coasters. We have a wide variety of them anywhere. So we'll start. Yes.
Yeah, no, walk me through them. Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with the sparkly one first.
Okay.
This one is a coin coaster, so it has coins from popular games. I always like our chitty coasters because they're a game within a game. Trying to name all the pieces.
Yeah.
Like, how many games do you think are in there?
That's so cool. So that's actual board game pieces that are in the coaster. That is so rad.
In our house, we might have a slight problem of wanting to be extra and upgrade all of our games. So we definitely have lots of pieces that need a new rehome. And then we also offer popular sayings. This one's eat, drink, game, repeat.
Perfect.
What else are you doing with a coaster?
I like the polyhedral dice sword there.
So, and the hexagon is personally my favorite shape of coasters that we do. And then we have our non-gamer coasters, for the people who aren't as obsessed with gaming.
Yeah, you might need something to look normal, I guess.
Yeah, and then the last one, then we have the circle ones. Those are just generic.
I'm gonna hold this up to this. Yeah.
So
awesome.
all the choo-choos, and then that last one is one of my favorites. It's actually glow in the dark, so the bottom glows up, and then you can see the Meeple mandala
that is
around
fantastic.
it.
Let's get another good shot of that if we can. Very cool.
And then of course we have the little things like the badge holders and the Meeple keychains.
That's perfect.
Yes.
That's so much.
So you
I'm
can
a
scan
fan.
your badges when you check out the games in the library.
Because I don't like ever having the thing around my neck for 4 days or whatever.
So I paint at my desk all the time, so if you do come over to the table, you'll probably see me there painting.
Yeah.
And like with the lanyard, sometimes I've knocked over an oil or two, and it's made a disastrous mess.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, we'll go with the clip.
Well, yeah, let's do the clip. The clip is great.
So then my bread and butter, and I could probably spend hours and hours and hours talking to you about it, is painting.
Okay.
I love painting. Anachrony so these are the mechs from Anachrony. They actually got me into painting because I watched a mini studio video, which was literally like, oh, just throw on a base coat, wash, and your mechs are gorgeous. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do that.
This, right? Yeah.
And like, I can do this. And then I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole. And so now I'm like, everybody needs to come play with me in the rabbit hole. Like, it's great fun. So this kind of shows the progress. So you have your base block coloring, a little bit of wash and dry brushing, and then full detail and base.
Very cool.
So when I do commissions, this is kind of our starting point of like what you're looking for if you want the super high detail or kind of just something that's not great.
That's at least painted, right? Yeah.
And then it also shows like anybody can paint. It's paint by depths. Just like paint by numbers, but you're just painting the different features, the different depths and everything like that. So just start with that, and then wash and inks are like magic heroes. You throw them on, they automatically do all your little lines.
The first time I used one, I was like, I'm good at this. Look how good I am. This looks so incredible.
I always laugh because it's one of the things like, oh, this mini is garbage. This is stupid garbage. You put wash on it, and you're like, I'm a paint genius, and everything like that. So like anybody can paint, and that's I do a couple painting classes at like the Gaming Node and around the Valley, usually about once a month, just to kind of introduce people and really get people into it and realize like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything like I can't do that.
Yeah.
No, anybody can do it, and you just have to start somewhere. So then, like moving along, this is one of the commission pieces I'm working on right now for Cthulhu Death May Die, which
that is incredible.
If you don't know, has 108 minis, so
wow.
we'll be working on it for.
You're doing the whole thing.
The whole thing, including all. I think it's like 65 villagers are like individual minis, something like that. So those are the ones that are going to take me forever. And then
how many in? Is it like 30 villagers in that you decide you're going to start adding Easter eggs or something to to help you get through it?
Actually, this is probably like poor planning on my part. I've been avoiding the villagers.
Oh, okay.
And I started with all like the monsters
All the
and
fun
the
stuff.
gun,
Yeah.
all the fun stuff. I love painting monsters. So then I just now started to like trickle in like a villager here or two, and I'm like, oh, I should have started that earlier. Broke off the villagers with the mini painting.
That's fantastic.
So then we also have a couple resin printed miniatures.
Yeah.
So I wish I said I did the model for those. I did not. I am not adept at 3D modeling in the least. But we print them and then you can take them home and paint. And then we do have, about once a month, I'll put out a couple of paint kits. So he'll be included with everything you need to get started to paint. Instructions, a little bit of paint, brushes, palette, whole 9 yards.
Wonderful. I'm trying to get my kids into liking painting miniatures so that I can buy them and they can paint them for me.
Yes,
right? And I think a starter set like that would be fantastic.
I honestly think my boyfriend somehow tricked me into that because he got me into the gaming hobby. And then he's the one who showed me the Nacme video. Look, you can do this, you can do this.
Cool, I bet you'd like this.
And then now I've gone down a whole world, and he's like, you can paint all of my minis for me now.
So good. Yeah, this is great. There's these two overlapping textures on the wings. That's fantastic.
I use Dice Head files, so they are the ones who do the models and everything like that. And they beautiful models. Right now I am going through Dungeon Forge to get them printed because with all the shipping delays, my printer hasn't quite made it to me yet. But I couldn't say no to these adorable minis.
That's so cool. So you started Meeple Therapy in about a year ago.
Yeah.
And how has that been? What has that been like?
So it's my past couple of years have been a whirlwind. I actually graduated as a physical therapist assistant during the pandemic.
Wow.
So then trying to find work for that when everything's shutting down and a lot of people were getting furloughed in the field, I had like a hard time. So I ended up doing contract work and commissions kind of started up at the same time. So that's where like Meeple Therapy comes from.
That's wonderful.
And Rehab Your Minis because it kind of combines my profession and like my passion together so that we have this wonderful combination of Meeple Therapy.
That is so perfect. Yeah, look
and
at
then,
that. Now it all comes together looking at that Meeple logo.
Yes,
that
and
is fantastic.
the Meeple logo he's got his bandage and his crutches, so
needs
he's
a little
on his
help.
way. He's on his way, and that's also the fun concept of going from like a gray mini that needs a lot of help to the like fully painted one is the rehab process. So
that's fantastic.
That's kind of how it all came about. It's definitely different. You get a new appreciation for everything that goes into just the business side of it. Yeah. When you start trying to do this like as more of like not just like offsetting costs, but actually like make it into a business. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I have to consider that. There's that too.
Running a small business is hard. There's one, maybe two employees, or employee and a significant other, right?
Yes, free slave labor always helps.
But there's everything still to do, even with just one of you. Marketing and production and finding, clients and customers. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and it's always the terrifying stuff because, like, this type of stuff seems so personalized. Like miniature painting and everything, it's like it's an art form and it's very subjective. And what one person likes, somebody else might not like. So then it's this back and forth of like, oh my God, he's not even good enough to be doing something like this. So I think that's been like one of the nicest things about doing it and being able to like talk to the different people and work with different commissions is just the feedback on like my own painting and how it's helped me grow like personally as an artist.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely love it.
That is great. So last question, I would love to just hear what some of your favorite games are. What do you like playing most?
Okay, so top game, probably Anachrony.
Okay.
Because it got me into painting. It was my first Kickstarter. There's like a whole lot of like love, and then just with their new module with the fractured time, and the blinking and everything, it just adds a whole nother level of crunchy.
My first Kickstarter was Tiny Dungeon.
Okay.
And the author is here. I was like, hey, I'm all fanboying out over Alan. It's so good to meet you.
So I did have the fangirl moment too, because
Yeah.
after I painted 2 sets of Anachrony mechs, and like after I painted my first one, like I put it on Instagram, published it, did all that stuff. And then like Mind Clash reposted it to their Instagram, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is that real? Is that real?
That's so good.
So, and then I love Eono tools, so Kanban, Galers, any like crunchy, heavy Euro, you can probably get me in.
That's you. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you for spending some time with us. Everybody should definitely go check out your booth. And if they're not able to make it to the booth because they're just watching online from home, where should they go? What should they do?
So meepletherapy.com has a gallery of some of my previously painted miniatures, as well as a store. And then they can find me on Instagram at ohey_mo.
Okay.
Easy to find, as well as I have an Etsy store, Facebook, anywhere. Reach out to me, all that good stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We are here, for the rest of the day, Saturday and Sunday. But again, whether or not you're here or you're watching this after the fact, go check out Meeple Therapy. Their stuff is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.